Good Sunday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I'm your meteorologist, Joseph Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Sunday evening going into your week and into your month. Yes, it is February. That means that it is time for the forecast for the month of February. So, we're going to go on and talk about that. That's one of the things we're going to talk about. So, what's on tap for tonight? Well, obviously, like we said, February forecast and the week forecast for the week of February the 1st going into February the 7th. We also are going to go on and talk about tonight's forecast, current conditions, tomorrow's forecast, as well as short term future, long term future, all of that stuff. And we may also go on and just take a little peek, just a little one, at the observed snowfall totals that we have received. So, we may go on and look at that at the end. I think might have to look at that another way. Oh, there it is. Yep. All right, yeah. So we can go on and look at that. So we'll go on and do that at the end. But let's go on and also say if you've not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Right now we have around a good 5 people that have tuned in so far, and we only have 3 likes. So if you're part of the 2 that have not hit the like button yet, go on and do so. Also, huge news, huge news. We had a huge day today, huge subscriber day today. We are 3 subscribers away. That's it. 3 subscribers away from the main goal of 700 subscribers. We are getting so close. And that's it. Just 3. Just let 3 people go and hit the subscribe button, and we will be there to that main goal of 700 subscribers. We've been working at that, ever since last year, I believe, and so we're now finally about to hit it. So let's continue to spread the word there. And speaking of spreading the word, sharing with your friends, family members, acquaintances, people that you don't even talk to like that, all of that will work. So let's go on right now and look at the live radar. What's currently going on right now throughout the entire state? Well, right now it looks like that we are just all inside of the special weather statement right now, except for parts of the low country and the PD Grand Strand areas as well. Now, why? Well, main reason being black ice. Definitely a black ice possibility in the upstate, black ice possibility in the Midlands, and in the western low country also has that threat of some black ice. Even if you move over here inside of like the Rock Hillish area over here where they actually have 2, but one of them's for something else. It says any snow that melts today will refreeze after sunset as temperatures will remain below freezing. So I was talking about that earlier, and I was saying that we have to watch out for tonight. This is what I really wanted to pay attention to for tonight, was all of that snow that melted during the day and how it would refreeze again. Where would it refreeze at? Would it go back to those shady areas? Will it go back, maybe on some main roads? Already right now in my house, it's already 25 degrees. So, and it's only going to get colder than that. Only going to get colder. So we're going to definitely see some refreezing again as we go into tonight. Let's go and look at the current conditions right now, where we do in fact have some snowfall going on in Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan. We also do have some snowfall in Illinois, and then some snowfall and some freezing rain in Arkansas and Tennessee. We also do have some rainfall going on in Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon as well. Everybody else seems to be on the dry side. Look at over here inside the west and the south central U.S. going into the Rockies. Nice and dry. Nice and dry. What about for cloud cover? Well, cloud cover for the most part is actually looking like that it is taking a bit of a break. Taking a little bit of a break. But if we go on and look at our cloud cover for the future, this is what it looks like right now. Go on and push this forward all the way past 9 p.m. going into around 11 o'clock p.m. You can start to see some cloud cover, maybe trying to move into the western low country a little bit. You go through all the way to around 2 o'clock in the morning. Here you have some more cloud cover from the southern Midlands towards the low country. Then as you get to around 7 o'clock in the morning on Monday, we see some nice, clear conditions as you wake up tomorrow morning. Nice conditions. You go into noon, you start to see some cloud cover up there inside the upstate, but after that, again, clearing up as you go throughout the evening hours on Monday, going into Tuesday morning. Cloud cover starts to push in more from the west. We get to around 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. to even 9 a.m. as well. And we have some cloud cover now moving its way over into pretty much the entire state. Everybody's covered Tuesday morning, going to Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening even as well. What about for our current temperatures? Well, current temperatures right now we have around a good 32 in Beaufort, 28 in Somerville, as well as a good 31 in Charleston, 28 Georgetown, and 30 in Myrtle's Inlet, 30 in Myrtle Beach, and 25 in Conway, 27 North Myrtle Beach, as well as 29 in Sumter, 29 Orangeburg, and 29 also inside of Columbia, 30 Aiken, and 26 in Newberry, 29 in Greenwood, and even 24 in Lawrence, 23 in Union, and 21 in Spartanburg, 21 Gaffney, York, Rock Hill, 22 also inside of Lancaster, and 31 in Clemson. Air quality for tonight looks like that we're all inside the good category. If you go and look at the legend up there at the top right corner of the screen, we're all in the 0 to 50 category, meaning that we are good to go. Nothing to really watch for there. Low temperatures for tonight. This is the main thing. You have low temperatures tonight around 12 degrees in Spartanburg, 13 in Greenville, 12 in Anderson, 11 in Greenwood and Newberry, 9 in Rock Hill, 8 in Sherrod, 10 in Florence, even around 9 in Sumter, 11 Kingstree, even around a good 15 in Georgetown, 22 in Charleston, and 26 in Hilton Head Island, 17 Walterboro, and 14 in Myrtle Beach. So, I mean, temperatures tonight, they're going to be just as bad, if not maybe even worse, for some areas than what it was last night. High temperatures for tomorrow, again, a bit warmer, but still relatively chilly. You know, you have 39 in Spartanburg, 40 in Greenville, Rock Hill, Winsboro, 40 Columbia, 39 in Camden, 38 Sumter, 38 Kingstree, 36 in Florence and Dillon, as well as 38 in Myrtle Beach, 41 in Georgetown, and 42 in Moncks Corner, 44 Charleston, and 45 in Walterboro, 49 Hilton Head Island, even around a good 44 in Barnwell. Now, what about for the wind chill values? Wind chill values, for the most part, is going to be, for some, still inside the single digits. You see Camden, Sumter, Cheraw, all in single digits. You see close to single digits in like Rock Hill, Newberry, Lawrence, Columbia, Spartanburg. Those areas still kind of close to single digits, but not quite there. Greenville, at 13, Charleston at 17, Hilton Head Island at 20. So those wind chills are really going to knock things down. Make sure, check on neighbors, make sure that you bring pets inside, make sure that you bring plants inside, and make sure that you also drip your faucets or open up kitchen cabinets, or any type of cabinets, kitchen, bathroom, anywhere where there's a sink, and, a drain that obviously can be reached by your house heat. Now, if you go on and look at your rainfall for the next 24 hours, nothing. We are all good here in terms of rainfall activity, so nothing really for us to worry about. Rainfall, snow, ice, sleet, doesn't matter what it is, we're good. We go in and look at the crazy score for tonight. You might be asking, why in the world do we have a 78? Why are we inside the severe category? Well, for the main reason behind all of that is, number one, it is going to be dangerously cold tonight. Dangerously cold tonight. We're going to see a peak, possibly the peak of the extreme cold phase tonight following the major winter storm. Dangerously low temperatures from 0 to possibly even -5 degrees. At some areas, obviously not for like the main areas, but it does say in the discussion potentially maybe a bit below 0, but I think that if that happens, it's going to be like either up like in the mountains or like over like a very like low valley area. But I think that mainly just goes with the mountain areas. And then also black ice for tonight. It's gonna obviously that is a huge deal with refreezing of prior melt and snowfall. And then also that a high hypothermia, frostbite risk if exposed. And then for the most part, I think that's about it. For the most part, I don't really see anything else. I don't really see anything else too crazy. Maybe some radiational cooling tonight in some areas, but I don't really see anything else too crazy. So that's why we're at a 78, dangerous conditions. SPC outlook as we go into tonight, same thing with tomorrow and Tuesday. We're good in terms of thunderstorm activity, so we're not going to see anything there. Same thing with any sort of fire weather, excessive rainfall. We're all good here in terms of these areas of concern. So let's go on and look at the models now. So we're going to start off with the short term first, then we'll go on and look at the long term, then we'll talk about this week and this month and all that kind of stuff. But starting off here on Sunday, 9 o'clock p.m., you go on and push this forward, and what do you see? Absolutely nothing. Even as we go into tonight, going into tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, going into 12 o'clock in the morning here, 1 o'clock on Tuesday, nothing at all. High pressure just continues to make its way through until finally we may start to see some rainfall activity as you go into Tuesday evening here at 7 o'clock p.m., moving up into the upstate. But that's it, and that looks to be like a little cold front potentially there as well. So it just looks like that, the next chance of rainfall will possibly be Tuesday evening. Now, what about for our long-term future? We're going to start off here. Here's the cold front that we were just talking about. Kind of moves its way through. It brings some rainfall, but look at that cold air behind it. And this is something that I wanted to talk about because I didn't necessarily quote the what's on tap part specifically. But if you look at the bottom one, the third one, or no. I didn't put it on there, actually, so excuse me for that. I didn't put it on there, but that was a point of emphasis that I wanted to talk about. And that is, there's a potential Wednesday night going into Thursday, I believe so, where we could potentially be talking about some leftover snow flurries to continue out throughout the state. Now, right now, it's low confidence, and it definitely will not be like this last system right here that we just had. Will not be that strong, but it is definitely something to look at. If we go back real quick and look right here at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you go in and push this forward, all you can see for the most part is rainfall, but then look as you get into around Wednesday at 4 p.m., going into 10 p.m., 1 o'clock in the morning, you start to see some snow flurries start to pop up a little bit. Thursday, 4 o'clock in the morning there, up there inside of Rock Hill. 7 o'clock in the morning, now moving into like the PD areas, but then it moves out quickly. So like I said, this will not be like the snowstorm that we got last week or, yesterday. It won't be like that, but it will have that possibility to drop some snow flurries with it. No, not really. Probably not really any accumulation at all. Maybe just a dusting. You continue this forward even more all the way through Friday, going into Saturday. More cold air pushes its way through, and we'll talk about the cold air specifically as we go into talk about this week. You continue through here Thursday at 1 o'clock in the morning. You have some rainfall moving its way in, and then maybe even another little system, another little maybe cold front trying to move its way through around February the 14th. And then we just continue to see just cold front after cold front after cold front over and over and over again as we go throughout February. So, at least the beginning part of February. But that's what we're looking at here in terms of the long-term future. So let's go on and talk about this week. So we're going to go on real quick and pull up another website that we don't really use that much anymore, but we can still use it. We're going to start off right here. This is for, obviously, this week. This is for this week. And so what this means right here on your screen is that we will be below average. We will be below average in terms of temperatures this week. And so don't really think anyone's too shocked by that, especially from how cold it is already. But it's going to be a below average temperature week this week. So if you want to see maybe a little warm rebound, which you will, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the little warm rebound. But for the most part, on average, take the week's averages, add them up, divide them. you get a below average week. And now, you can go on and see maybe around a good, 10 degrees just below average, maybe on the eastern side, and the western side, maybe only around 3 to 5 degrees below average. But again, this goes over the entire week span. Even if we go on and look at this forecast right here for precipitation, look at this. We will be below average in terms of precipitation this week. We will be below average in terms of precipitation this week. That will not help our drought monitor one bit. Not one bit at all. Nothing. That will not help it. And so, we'll go on and look at the totals for the full week as well. But for right now, that is not something that you want to see. You do not want to see below average rainfall, especially when we have a drought like this going on right now throughout the state. And so if we go on real quick and look at the actual temperature anomalies, because I do want to go in and talk about that. We'll start off, going into Monday first. You start off the week, we're like 30 degrees below average, 35, maybe even close to almost 40 degrees below average for a lot of spots. You go all the way through, here's Monday morning, going to Monday afternoon right here, still below average. Going into Tuesday, we may get a little bit either on the average side or maybe even a bit on the above average side as you go into Wednesday. But like I said, going into Wednesday, Thursday, like late Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're going to have a cold front push through. And then maybe we might try to warm up again as we go into Saturday. Like I said, just like a little warm up, nothing too crazy, but it looks like it won't really last that long. It's like another little bit of cold air we'll be trying to move through again on Saturday. So that's like one of the main reasons why it's going to be below average, just because we're not really going to see that much warm air trying to infiltrate the region. Even if we go in and look at the actual temperatures themselves for this week, for the most part, it doesn't really get too high. Going to Tuesday, 40s, maybe some 50s, maybe some mid 50s as you go into Wednesday for your high. But that's about all that I can see there. And then also, if we go in and look at the actual forecast from the National Weather Service, that being their WPC forecast, if we go down towards the 7-day mark, we go on and check and see what we have here. In terms of totals, and it's not much. You see around maybe like a good 2/10 of an inch, 3/10 of an inch, maybe even around a good half an inch or so, maybe a bit more inside the low country potentially this week. But look up there inside the upstate. Look up there. 100th of an inch to maybe even 500ths of an inch. That's it. You're not seeing anything else at all. You're not seeing anything else at all. So that's what it looks like for this week. And for this week's forecast, we talked about pretty much this week and how, we might see something on Wednesday. But other than that, not really anything else past Wednesday for the rest of the week. So now that is out of the way, one of the main things we're here for tonight is to talk about the month of February. Because the month of February, this is the last month, obviously the last month of winter. Next month will be in the spring. I know a lot of people are happy about that. But if we want to look at the monthly temperature outlook for the month of February, you can see that we do in fact have some below average temperatures for the month of February. So not what you want to see if you want some warm temperatures to go on and move their way in. Not what you want to see, but at the end of the day, we will still have warm-ups. We will still have, non-below average temperatures at times. And so this is just an average over the month. So below average temperatures, and I'm about to show you right now the actual monthly precipitation. And when I go in and show you this, or no, that's for February, March, and April. I want for 1 month. There we go. This is it right here for the month of February. Down here, if we look down here inside or near the South Carolina area, below average over here to the west in Georgia, Alabama, and Florida, but South Carolina, we stay average. We stay on the average side in terms of precipitation readings here. So seems like a below average month in terms of temperatures, but a normal average or on average month in terms of precipitation. That's what it seems like we have here. So if we go on, I obviously, I don't really like to go on and talk specifically, about the whole month, just in general, because I think that that's way too far out. That's like almost 600 hours out. So that's why, I just talk about the averages, and usually I'm really done with the month. But I can go on and do one thing, and that is show the JMA model. I haven't shown this model in a good little bit. And usually when I go in and do this, I'm usually showing you something in terms of, rather be just with the patterns and what we have going on throughout the state. So we're going to look at this right here. This is the JMA, and we're actually going to move on to the GFS real quick. Not the ECAI, but the GFS real quick. So we're going to start off here, times in the top right corner of your screen. Make sure that you're paying attention to that. But if you go on and look at this, pay attention to this. You start to see as we go into, February the 2nd, 1 o'clock in the morning, we have this cold air over here where we are. We just got hit with the cold front. And then they're having some warmer, more drier conditions down over here inside of the west. High pressure over here. You have a high pressure down here impacting us. And so you push all the way through February the 2nd going to the 3rd. You have a huge trough, huge batch of cold air going on up there inside of Canada. And so that may cause some issues definitely up there for like the northeastern areas. But look over here inside the west. Look at how warm they're getting over here. They're getting exceptionally warm over there. And they're also going to be receiving some drier temperatures, And if you want me to show you an example, look at this. We're seeing below average temperatures over here in the east. We're seeing warmer than average temperatures over here inside of the west. And so that will push its way forward. We have another huge little cold blast trying to move its way down throughout, especially the northeast. But one thing that I am looking at is as we have this little ridge area right here trying to protrude its way throughout the south central U.S., I'm looking at this area right here. And I'm watching it as it continues to kind of push its way through as we just, have this huge amount of cold air push through as we go into around like the 7th-ish. I'm watching this down here bringing in like a huge, which, like I said, I've called it bowling ball troughs. I called it stuff like that because it almost replicates a bowling ball going down towards the south. But that causes us to have some unsettled weather. In fact, will we be talking about severe weather at that time? I mean, right now, it looks like for some areas they definitely could receive it. But as it pushes its way over into the east, definitely brings us some unsettled weather. That, and then also, if we continue looking, you can see we have some more unsettled weather coming into the west, going to like the mid part of the month, goes through all the way throughout the 17th, and this is where it cuts off at 384 hours, where we have another low pressure, another trough moving in, and then we're trying to get some fun in the sun. While they're kind of trying to cool down a little bit, we're trying to have some above average temperatures over here as you go into the 17th, but it's not really too crazy at all. Not really too crazy. But that's all that I have to say really for the month forecast. Nothing else really for me to talk about here except for this week, below average temperatures and then below average precipitation, not good for the drought. And then also for the month, below average temperatures and then near normal precipitation rates. One more thing before we go on and talk with the audience, I do want to go on and show you real quick how much snowfall we got from this system from the past 48 hours. So this starts off here. We can go even 72 hours back, but I don't think that didn't do anything. But if we look over here throughout South Carolina, this is the past 78 hours, around 2.7 inches in Columbia, 2.6 in Sumter, 4 inches in Florence, 6 inches up there inside of Greenville, 2.3 inside of Anderson, and then, not much inside the Love Country at all. I mean, we have some areas who barely saw a lot, and you only saw around 0.3 inches in Savannah. You saw maybe a good 4 or 5 in Myrtle Beach, but The area that definitely got hit a lot was up there in Charlotte, North Carolina. They got a bunch, especially northern Charlotte. They got around like 8 to 9, 10-ish. I mean, very, very happy for them up there. Because I mean, they have not seen, snow like that in like almost a decade. So they definitely needed that. But I know a lot of people, I saw a lot of pictures out there from Charlotte just showing, people enjoying it. And just overall, just positive stuff going on up there. But that's about all. I mean, if you want to see your areas, this is what it looks like. You might want to look at the let me see. There we go. There's the thing down here. The kind of like the guide down here that shows you where you are. If you want to correlate your color to it, and to see maybe how much you got in a specific area, you can go in and look down there right now. But let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9. Yes, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. The reason why we go on and talk with them is because, obviously, for them showing up. And if you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock. So we're going to start off here for... Oh, God. Let me get that up out of here. I did not mean to do that. Let's go ahead and show the audience right now. And starting off, Mr. Chris was here first, I believe. Yes, he was. He says, good evening, everyone. Hope you all are staying safe, doing well, and staying warm. Well, thank you so much for that. I am staying warm, staying well right now. He also says, please remember to go and hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also share with everyone that you know. It's free and it helps the channel grow. He's absolutely correct. Right now we have had around 22 people tune in tonight, yet we only have 8 likes. If you are a part of that 14 that have not hit the like button yet, go in and do so. It's free and you can change your mind at any time. My Aunt Lewis says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. She also says, I pray that everyone had a safe weekend. Thank you so much for that. Mr. Chris says, currently it's 28 degrees here and no wind at all. At my house right now, seems like it is around a good, let's see what I have here. Seems like right now it's around a good 25. Still feels like 25 right now. Continue our way down. My Nana says, hello, Jay, and all not a too cold day. Beautiful sunshine. Well, that's great to hear from you as well. And then, my Aunt Lewis says, today in Georgetown we got around 2 inches of snow. Mr. Chris says, we got between 3 to 4 inches at my house, and there are even reports of 5 inches as well in my town. That says, Giving Joseph in the 360 weather family. It was a beautiful day here in San Antonio. Much better than the last few days. I trust everyone is well, warm, and safe. Well, I am right now. Hopefully everyone else is, like you said. He says also currently 43. Today's high was around 55, and the lows tonight look like around 35. Well, we'll go on and talk about that for you in just a moment. Also, he says that is awesome. Only 3 subscribers away. Way to go. What an accomplishment. Thank you so much for that. He's right. We have around 3. Yes, just 3 subscribers left until we make it to 700 subscribers. We can hit it tonight. I think that we either will hit it tomorrow or Tuesday. I think we're going to hit 700 subscribers tomorrow or Tuesday. We'll see what happens though, so expect that 700 subscriber celebration soon. We're getting closer and closer to that main goal of 1,000. So we're getting closer and closer and closer. Continue our way down even more. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. And then also, my cousin Cheryl says, good evening, weatherman. Good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is staying warm because it's really cold out here in Philly. So, weatherman, do your thing. Everybody stay warm. Love you. Be blessed. Love y'all. Be blessed. Well, thank you so much for that. And thank you so much for that weather report over there inside of Philadelphia. Mr. Chris said, just recheck. It's at 28 now. Maya Lewis says, at the moment, it's 27 in Georgetown. Trail says, good evening to you. Maya Lewis says, even though the snow looked beautiful, it was sunny and cold. Same here. Black ice now, that's so dangerous. Absolutely, black ice should not be played around with. Black ice should not be played around with at all. As obviously you can't see it. And then not only that, but you may be thinking, oh well, the roads are good, so maybe I could just go the speed limit. Maybe I could just maybe go a bit over or something like that. And the next thing you know, you hit black ice, and it's just a world of trouble. So that's why they just say, just don't even drive. Not even worth it. Unless you absolutely have to. And then continuing that, or excuse me, my cousin Cheryl says, or talking to Mr. Gris. So actually, that's all, because I think everybody else is talking to each other, which do not have a problem with. Do not have a problem with. So I think that is all that we have here throughout the chat. So let's go ahead and talk about the 4 locations outside of South Carolina. You might be asking 4 locations. What am I talking about? I'm talking about San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly. And because they tune in almost nightly and their locations aren't even the main one being talked about, that shows me that they really do support the channel. So we're going to start off with San Antonio first. We have low temperatures tonight at 40. High temperatures tomorrow at around a good 67, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 58. So, not as cold as it is over here in South Carolina. Definitely not as cold as it is over here. But you definitely will need to look for a warm-up as you go throughout the next couple of days. 72 on Tuesday. May seem like you might want to try and cool down a little bit, like 66 on Thursday, but Friday 72, Saturday 74, Sunday 76. I mean, it's going to be a pretty much a warming up trend for you, especially as you go into this weekend. No severe weather, no excessive rainfall is expected for you, and I can say the same thing for the other 3 locations. Severe weather and excessive rainfall is not expected for either one of these areas, so you're good there. Then what about for Raleigh, North Carolina? You have low temperatures tonight at around 10. High temperatures tomorrow at 38. And then low temperatures tomorrow night at 22. Precipitation, not expected at this time. In terms of your future, looks like you may have some rainfall as you go into Tuesday night through Wednesday night. For the most part, it did say a chance of snow, but they got rid of it. But that's, Tuesday night, Wednesday, going into Wednesday night. Looks like that you will be on the warm-up. You will be on the warm-up. Tuesday, 44. Wednesday, 45. It may cool back down a little bit Saturday and, Thursday, going into Saturday. But for the most part, you'll be kind of in that 40, low 40-ish range as you continue throughout. Then what about for Philadelphia? Low temperatures tonight at 11. High temperatures tomorrow at 29. Then low temperatures tomorrow night at 14. Precipitation not really expected. Tuesday night, maybe a little chance of snow. And on Friday as well. But after that, that's about all. I mean, you will see a bit of a cool down as well as you go into the next couple of days. So you will start to see that. And you will be back down to single-digit temperatures as you go into Saturday of next week. Or I guess technically this week. And then finally for Duncan, Oklahoma, you have low temperatures tonight at 31, high temperatures tomorrow at 65, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 36. Precipitation not expected at this time. You're not seeing anything there. You definitely will see a bit of a warm-up, kind of hanging around. You'll see a little bit of a dip on Wednesday at around 55, 54, but it'll jump its way right back up, 70 on Friday, 66 on Saturday. And so that's it for these 4 areas. What's going on right now throughout the entire U.S. weather news-wise? Well, right now, bitter cold temperatures and dangerous wind chills will persist from Florida to the Northeast through Monday. Daily record low temperatures are forecast across Southeast, throughout the Southeast and Florida, with all-time February low temperature records possible across Florida. An Alberta clipper will spread wintry precipitation across the northern plains today and into the upper Great Lakes into tonight. So that's what we're looking at there. And yes, like I said, we are going to see some record-breaking cold in Florida as we go into tonight. Record-breaking. In fact, as far down south as Miami, for example, they're going to be down to around 39, but wind chill values will feel like 32. So it's going to be a cold night down there for them, for sure. Possibly, now, obviously it's going to be colder in South Carolina, but it is still for Florida standards, 39 degrees is freezing. Let's see, what else do we have here in terms of the top fans of the night for tonight? I believe Miss Chris is still at that number 1 spot. My Aunt Lou's at number 2. And then Thad's at number 3. Congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being the top fans of the night for tonight. If you want to be a part of the top fans, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. And also, not only joining us at 9 o'clock, but being here early and also being here as well. Being active inside the chat. So more than just 1 or 2 chats or something like that. And then also, as well, I do believe we do have some pictures. We do have some pictures that I can share for tonight. Let me go in and check real quick. While I'm going on and getting that set up, let's go on and give the 3 people a round of applause real quick for them for getting top fan of the night for tonight. So again, thank you so much for that. So I do have some pictures. The first one does come from my Nana. She sent me this picture this morning saying the snow did not stick to my driveway or the sidewalk. So this was over here inside of Latson. So thank you so much for sending me in this picture right here from her driveway. And then also, we have another one from my Aunt Lou inside of Georgetown who says, actually, there is no message, it's just some pictures. So we're going to go on and show that right now. Here's her first picture that she sent me. And then also, here's the second picture. So thank you so much for these pictures from the both of you. If you want to go in and send me a picture, you can by sending it to scweather360@gmail.com. Again, that is scweather360@gmail.com. And then also for the poll, I said, how much snow did you get this weekend? Right now, 22% says less than an inch, 33% says 1 to 3 inches, 22% says 3 to 5 inches, and 22% says over 5 inches. I'm going to have to be a part of the 1 to 3 inch group. Only got around, if you saw my short today where I showed you how to measure that snow, I showed around 2 inches or so. So, good amount. Did underachieve for a lot of areas, overachieved for a lot of other areas. I know that for sure. And that's all that I have to say here. Yes, I do see we're at 698, so now we're 2 subscribers away now from that main goal of 700. Again, 2 away. We could be there by tonight. So just go on and share with your friends, family members, acquaintances, people that you don't even talk to. Also hit the like button as well if you have not already. And then also, like I said, if you have not hit the subscribe button yourself, and never done it before, go on and do so. It's free, and you can change your mind at any time if you ever want to. And I think that's all that I have to really mention for tonight. So make sure that you tune back in tomorrow morning for your Monday morning forecast update, as we will be talking about, obviously, that continued black ice threat. We'll talk about, the high temperatures for tomorrow, just everything for tomorrow in general. And then we'll be back here same time tomorrow night, 9 o'clock p.m. for your Monday evening forecast update. I don't believe I'm missing anything else. Yeah, so I think that's about it. I will be back tomorrow. Make sure you hit those 2 buttons before you leave.